Hey, what's up guys? In today's video, I want to talk about yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So let's jump in. This video is sponsored by Camera Exchange, your #1 source for used cameras and camera equipment. So give James a call today and tell him Rick sent you for a discount. So DSLRs have really come a long way from SLRs, which are a film camera, to DSLRs, which are a digital camera with a mirror in the front, which are similar to the SLRs, but now they're digital. So they have a sensor behind the mirror. Let me take this cap off and show you. Turn it on here. This is a D850 that I borrowed from Camera Exchange, by the way. They got a really good price on this camera. I can't remember the shutter count on it. But you can see the mirror flipping up and down. Now the mirror is a pentaprism mirror. Do you remember, well, maybe you're not my age, but back in the day, when cereal boxes, Captain Crunch may have come with a little, after you got done eating the cereal, you could break apart the box and make a little periscope, similar to what's on a submarine. So you would look through a viewfinder and it would angle your view up and out. And I remember, I don't know if it was Captain Crunch or or what it was, but I remember taking apart, I begged my mom for this box of cereal. So, and I hurry up and ate it, and I wanted to make this pentaprism, I guess is what it is, or periscope that you could peek over a wall and pretend you're spying on people, and I had to have it. I don't know how old I was, but anyways, so that's kind of the premises behind the DSLR, the digital SLR and the SLR, is that there's a mirror, a pentaprism that refracts back up to your eye, and you're kind of looking down and out. And so what you see is what you get. You follow what I'm saying? So that's the DSLR. Also, the DSLR is huge. I mean, I got giant hands. My hands are, whatever, 8 inches. I can spread 8 inches from pinky to thumb. And this feels so comfortable in my hand. In a little itty bitty guy, it might be kind of promising to hold such a big camera. Let's see, 2002. Was it 2002? I had a 60D DSLR, 6.3 megapixel digital SLR by Canon, and that was my very first DSLR. I've been filming my children since 30 years ago on old VHS camcorders, giant, you know, the ones that I'm talking about that you put on your shoulder, the big VHS tapes. So DSLRs are huge. They have that mirror. The newer ones like the D850 are kind of a hybrid where they're mirrorless and they're mirrored at the same time because they've got a lot of software built in, a lot of digitizing because they're trying to head towards mirrorless. Whereas the Nikon Z6 and Z7, here's a Z7, you can see the thickness. You've got about, I don't know, 2.5 to 3 inches versus 1.5 inches in thickness because that mirror isn't in there. So when I open this up, you can see the sensor right there. When I open up the DSLR, there's a mirror. Let's see if I can get the mirror to rise. And there's a sensor way deep in there, way deep in there. The thickness of this body, it's way back here. So the mirror is raising. See that? I hope you can see that. So, I mean, you guys probably already know the difference between a DSLR and a mirrorless body. So I won't give you the history about it, other than to start talking about the differences, although they're similar. So the newer DSLRs, like the D850 and the D5, which isn't as new as the D850, the battery life seems to last longer. And that's because the sensor is not on all the time. There's a mirror. So when you're looking for the view through the viewfinder, the optical viewfinder, because it's an optical viewfinder, it's not digital, there's no reason to have the sensor on until it lifts up and takes the picture. Whereas on like the Nikon Z6 or the Sony, the sensor is on all the time. So when you look through the digital viewfinder, the electronic viewfinder, it's on all the time, almost like turning on your TV, and it's on all the time. What you see is what you get as well nowadays because of the digital viewfinder. In between the older DSLRs and the older mirrorless cameras, the blackout or blockout, however you want to call it, wasn't up to par as it is today. So today, on a newer A9 or even the Sony A7R3, that I have, there's still a slight blockout on this one, but not on the A9. There's no block at all. Where when you press the shutter button on a DSLR, there's a blockout because the mirror has to lift to take the picture. So that little split second of the mirror lifting, you're getting a blackout, whatever you want to call it, in the viewfinder before the mirror comes back down so you can see. Whereas the new mirrorless cameras are kind of getting up to par or up to speed. They're getting faster. The new mirrorless bodies are getting faster now, to where as soon as you press the shutter button, the sensor flicks on and off, boom, done. And the A9, the Sony A9 has no blackout. I don't have an A9, but according to them, they don't have a blackout. So anyways, you can see the difference in the size, okay? And you kind of already know the difference in the optical viewfinder, the size, the battery life, why the battery life is better on a DSLR than it is on an SLR, or a mirrorless camera. So I just wanted to kind of talk to you about where you think, or where I think we're heading in the future. I really picture the DSLR being completely abolished. Maybe it's going to take 4 to 6 years, okay? Because quite frankly, a lot of professional photographers still have DSLRs. They still have tons of DSLR glass, which we're going to talk about in a second. And I don't see them swapping out for the new mounts. So as you know, Sony has been out for 4 years now with their A mount and their line of cameras, the A7 III, the A7R3, and the A9, and soon to be the AS3, we're all hoping, I guess. And that A mount, which we don't know if the A7 III is going to have an A mount, but that A mount has been around for 4 years, and so there's lots of glass for that. Whereas the Nikon Z mount just came out, so there's only 4 or 5 pieces of glass. I'm filming on the Z6 right now with the 24-70 f2 at, I think I'm filming at f4 at 640 ISO. And the new Canon, that's only got a few, that's the EOS-R and the EOS-RP. That only has the EOS, the RF glass. There's only like 2 or 3 lenses out for that as well. So just like Sony took years to build their line of glass for their new A mount, Nikon is going to take years to build their new line of glass. And Canon is going to take years. During that process, just as you saw Sony, the A7 and the A7R, through the years, through the last, 4 years now, the glass has become more and more. The glass has become better and better and faster and faster. So with the Nikon, obviously, being just launched 8 months ago, the Nikon Z6 and Z7, you're going to see the same thing. In the next 3 to 4 years, you're going to see Nikon release more S-mount glass or Z-mount glass, whatever you want to call it. And the same with the Canon. You know, the bodies, obviously, there's going to be updates to the bodies, like the Sony had the A7 II and A7 III and the A7R II and the A7R III. You're going to see the same thing with Nikon. There's a Z6 and a Z7. There's already talk about a Z1 and a Z8, and there's going to be a Z9 and a Z10. And the same with the Canon. The ESOR might be an ESOR, what, 2? I don't know. Or a Pro, ESOR, EOS-R Pro. And you're going to see more glass. So everything's just going to get better. So my prediction for the future is really DSLR is eventually, not right at the moment, and not in the next 2 years, because there's so much DSLR glass out there. There's so much cool glass for DSLR professional shooters. My buddy Andy, who's still shooting the D7500, the D500 crop sensor people, the D850 pro shooters who have tons of glass, are not going to give up. They're not going to give up their glass. Glass is where it's at. So when that kind of segues me into the closing of this video, and to tell you that my next video is going to be about adapting lenses. Thanks to Camera Exchange again for loaning me some lenses for doing some testing on my Nikon Z6 using the FTZ adapter. And in my next video, I'll be showing you all about the adapted lenses, my experience, and what I think about adapted lenses and why I don't think you should be adapting lenses unless you have a special purpose. Anyways, if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you're new. Hit the bell button. And in my next video, I'll be announcing the winner of the giveaway from my last video. So we'll see you on the next round. Thanks for watching.